Daf Yud Chesam Rav. And we are 1, 2, 3. If we do this, if you're all good boys, we can do this quickly tonight. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines on the top. Yerushalmi. We're talking about the stuff you do kriya on. You rip your clothes, right? So one of them is Yerushalmi, the other one is the Beis HaMikdash. So it says, Vayavo Anoshim, this is the pasuk after the Churban of the first Beis HaMikdash. Vayavo Anoshim Mishchem, Mishilo, Mishomron. They came from Shechem, Shiloh, and Shomron. Oh, isn't there all those the yeshivas you recalled that support this morning? Shmona Anoshim Gulachei Zakan. 8 people whose beards were shaved off, ukrui begadim, and has a sign of avelus or persecution. It's not clear, and their clothes are ripped. Now, this means that because the Yerushalmi been destroyed, so therefore they had ripped their clothes, and from here we learn that one's supposed to wear clothes over the Churban. Now, echad sheshama shechor b'Yerushalmi, if one were to hear chas v'sholom that Yerushalmi is destroyed, or echad aroz Yerushalmi b'Churban, or you see Yerushalmi destroyed, chayav l'kor, you have to do kriya. How rose Yerushalmi Netzofa, when you see Yerushalmi from Mount Scopus. Now, from Mount Scopus, besides seeing Yerushalmi itself, you actually see for the first time the Har HaBayis, right? So besides Yerushalmi itself, you see the Har HaBayis, so that's additional chiv kriya. One for Yerushalmi itself and one for the Har HaBayis, right? Nowadays, we usually do it when we get to the top of the, I'm usually maknem by shirt because I'm not so frum, I guess, but I usually maknem my shirt to somebody else, and that way you don't have to tear kriya. But, because you only do it on your own shirt, not on a shirt you've sold to somebody else. So many people own shirts of mine all over the world. But, in any event,
My son likes a kriya shirt.
It's a kriya shirt. Once every 30 days. Right. So in any event, but technically speaking, I believe if people do the kriya now when they get to the top of the stairs, when they see the coastal, I think that's what they do nowadays. East Tani, Mosif Alakera, that those who said that once you tear when you saw Yerushalmi, and then you see it tear again when you see the Har HaBayis, you add to the rip. In other words, you take the rip and you rip it further. East Tani, those who say Tchilas HaKera Tefach. Now concerning this, there are those who say that the initial rip is a tefach. The Tosef is kosher when you add on even the slightest amount. These tiny, those who learn tchilas hakera tefach, the initial rip is a tefach. Tosefto, and the additional amount is shosh etzbos, which is 3/4 of a tefach. 3 out of 4 etzbos. Rabbi Yisrael, Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabbi Yisrael, Shem Rabbi Chia, Babon, Rabbi Chizkiah, Rabbi Yirmiyah, Shem Rabbi Yochanan said, Halacha k'mi shoyim et tchilas hakera tefach. Allah is like the opinion which holds that when you begin tearing, you tear a tefach. Tosefto, to add on, kosher even sliced them out. Malavdil konesafa. Now it's an interesting word. I don't recall it from the Bavli. Konesafa is the hem. Do you have to rip the hem? In other words, can you start tearing? Let's say this is the shirt I was tearing. Do I have to start tearing here, or can I tear here? In other words, make a hole and tear there. Does the hem have to be torn?
Remember this question.
You remember the Bavli? I don't remember any such question from the Bavli. Really? Okay, it's possible it's there. What is it here on the side? Okay, take your word for it. So name it, but the thing is, obviously, you know what I realized in preparing this Gemara today? Unlike us, who are quite rich, they actually had to go around wearing the shirts they tore kriya on after Avelus was over. They didn't go out and buy a new Arrow shirt. It didn't work like that in the old days. They didn't go to Kmart, right? So actually, this is a really lemaisa question. Yeah. Do you have to rip the hem or don't you have to rip the hem? Because they're going to have to wear it. So, if they rip the hem, makes the shirt much less usable than if the shirt's hem was never ripped. It's an interesting question. Okay? So it says the Gemara, Mal Avdil Konesafa, Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rabbi Chia, B'Shem Rabbi Shimon ben Logit said, look, Vaychazek David b'Godov. When David heard that Shaul died, it says David held onto his garments and he ripped them. So in Chazak Apachos Mitefach, if you're grabbing on them, means it's no less than tefach because you have to grab, and the grab is, of course, the size of the fist, which is a tefach, right? Vayikre'em, and then he ripped them. Rabbi Simon Shem Rabbi Shimon ben Levi said, Mikantru tzarich likol avdil konesafa. Since it says he ripped them, besides holding on to them, it means that he had to actually rip the hem. Now, Meis la Meis Korea. If somebody dies and it's a relative, then you have to do kriya. Meis lo meis acher. What about if you heard that somebody else died? Afilu sheshama aviv al imo v'rabo shalim del chachma. Even you heard that it's your father or your mother or your rebbe taught you most of your chachma. Korea kera echad l'kulam. You can do one additional tear for all of them. So the first kriya did initially for whoever died, and then if you go to rip the next rip, you can go rip no matter how many other people you hear. You can whip all one rip for them. Okay, right? Not true. You tear for each one separately. And furthermore, you can't make your fathers and mothers an additional rip, meaning that even according to people which holds that you can do one rip for everybody, it's only if it's not a father and mother. But father and mother, everybody agrees, has to be a separate rip in and of itself.
It's on the other side. So usually on the left side, while they're non.
Yeah, but I don't think that's because it's more of the heart. It's not because of the. We're going to get that later on. So name it, Rabbi Chilbo. I think it actually might be in the Bavli also, but not in the Yerushalmi. The left and right side issue is not in the Yerushalmi. So in any event, it says V'lo dohi kad mesa. Says wait, didn't we say that before that you have to the ray that it has to be your father and mother are separate? It says Korel sebifnei atzo sebifnei. What does it mean avivimo? So where do we know that? The additional statement taka doesn't mean that you have to tear on your father and mother separate, because that we know the statement before that said you have to tear on your father and mother separate. Rather, what it means is that you cannot add to that. Whereas if you have a rip which you ripped in your shirt or your garment because of your father or mother died, then you can't add on to that rip an additional rip for some other mace. Okay, it's not kibbud of ain to do an additional rip in the same rip which you rip for your father or mother. So it says more Rabbi Chavur Master and Yosef ben Menashe Shem Rav said Halacha Kira ben Tema that for each mace you rip independently, and to each mace you rip independently, and it seems that it seems according to the way the Kelvin 8 explains it. Then each mace independently means father, mother, and all of the relatives you can do it Tosefis. So Tanakama actually, I want to revise what I said before. Before I thought it said according to Tanakama also the father and mother have to be separate, but that's not true. Tanakama held the father, mother, other relatives you can all add on. So as you one rip you can add on and on and on. Rabbi Yehuda ben Temo says no, father and mother have to remain separate. And then the final statement in the Brisa says that on the father and mother's kriya, once you tore them, you can't add on. All the relatives can be done in one long kriya, but father and mother you can't add on. Okay? Says more further, mace lo mace korea. If somebody dies, then you do kriya. Mace lo mace acher, if somebody else dies, mosif ala kera v'korea, you add on to the rip and you rip some more. Arechon, how far can you go ripping your shirt? So it says until you reach your navel. You can't tear below the navel. I guess it's not covered to do kriya beneath the navel. So you can keep on adding on to the tear until the tear reaches the navel. One old man said, Rabbi Zera, I feel nismanalo bege kol shiva. Even if you change clothes all 7 days, you've got a new, different beggar to wear, chayv to kriya on the new garment that you wear. Okay? So I don't know, I think customarily people wear the same shirt all 7 days. That's not the case. But it seems that the Yerushalmi at least tell that you're not mechuyev to do that. You will put out change clothes, but if you do change clothes, then you have to do kriya on the new clothes which you put on. Okay? So says the Gemara, harder to, Rabbi Zera said, harder to tame Shakrov, and that's for other relatives that within Shiva, you have to tear kriya. Aval avi val imo. So, and the flip side, what he really means is after Shiva, you don't have to tear a kriya anymore, right? You no longer have to tear kriya. Aval avi val imo, but on your father and mother, so you have to tear kriya. Afilu achar kama. even after several years, you have to do kriya. Now, it's interesting one. It's a little bit difficult to understand what exactly that means. One possible meaning is that, again, tell you about the old days where they had only one shirt. You had to walk around once your father and mother died with a ripped shirt all the time. But I don't think that that's the pshat. In other words, to demonstrate always your tzad that your father and mother died. But I don't think that that's what it means. I think it means that by any other relative you found within Shiva of their death, you tear kriya. If it's after Shiva of their death, you don't tear kriya. But by father and mother, even if you find out about their death after Shiva, you tear kriya nonetheless. I think that that's what the Gemara means. Okay, says the Gemara, Meis la meis, korea. Again, we said this before, if somebody dies, you do kriya. Meis la meis acher, machik sholosh etzbos min korea. If somebody else dies, then you go 3 etzbos away and you do kriya. Again, this is talking about only where already your first rip has gotten to your navel. So you need to start another rip. So then you go 3 etzbos down further on the garment and you start ripping some more.
This is where the Israelis got the style of the open shirt.
Yeah, the ripped shirt. It says Gemara, Shalom in front of, if you have no more room on the front of your shirt, Maschem Achar, you begin in the back of your shirt. Shalom Yilmad, if you have no more room starting from the top hem, Maschem Achar, you start from the bottom hem. Shalom Elam Elu, what if they're both finished, if you've finished all possible places of ripping your shirt? So it says, Rabbi Chia Breder Avada Diapo Amar Nasik Bochech. Again, this guy who only has one shirt. So it's like Bochech, meaning it's like he's walking around in rags, and he's not Bochech to do Kriya anymore. Where's he going to do Kriya? His shirt is full of tears. Where's he going to do Kriya, right? Somebody's wearing rags. Technically speaking, somebody who's called Bochech is not properly dressed. The Gemara says that somebody who's wearing short sleeves should not daven before the Amud. As a Shliach Tzibor, he's called a Pocheach, because he's called Pocheach. So he's more revealed than concealed, I guess, is a term for it. Yeah. Right, certainly can't wear shorts.
I thought if it wasn't your parents, you could sew up.
We're coming that. Rechina Rapapa went, Gabi Rabbi Tanchum, Barachiyat Rabbi Tanchum, he had enough of the Gabi. So he came out towards him, Rabbi Tanchum Barachia, loving Santarei, wearing a Santarei. What's a Santarei? Manin the lo chafisin. It was a raggedy shirt which had no hems to it. There had no, I don't know, I'm sure that seams, but no hems. And he did, for some reason he didn't tear, when somebody died, he didn't tear kriya in it. So it says, well, how do you know that you don't have to tear kriya in it? So he said, "Oh, can I have Rabbi Simon, Rabbi Avad? That's what Rabbi Simon, my Rebbe did." And as it's like we said before, if it's a raggedy shirt, you don't have to tear kriya anymore. So it was a raggedy shirt, didn't have to tear kriya. So he said, "Okay, it's not clear who said to who, but it seems like right. Talmud Bar Sichia said to Rechina Bar Papa, say a prayer for me because he was in Avelus." So Amalei said, Yasuk Turasach. May God heal up or close up your breaches, the openings in your fence. Shkol also shot the entire year after the ptir of somebody in the family. Hadim Masuach Kneg Mishpacha, there's judgment against the family. Dam Rabbi Yochanan said, Kol Shiva for all 7 days, Hacherev Shlufa. The sword is extended vis-a-vis the family, right? Ad Shlishis, Ad Shlishim Rofefes. And from Shiva to Shloshim, it's weak. After 12 months, this tarot goes back to its scabbard. What is analogous to this danger which a person finds of it after his relative dies? It's analogous to the following case: a pile of stones came and once one of them becomes knocked out of place. Yisrael Kulam, everybody that's the word, maybe they'll be knocked out of place as well. Vamray said, Imnola ben Zachabos Mishpacha, if a male child is born in that family that year, Yisrap is close to Mishpacha, then it's a sign that the family is healed. Minayich Ovel Chayad Likramum, and I don't know that an Ovel has to tear his clothes standing up. The Chsiv says, Vayacham Yovi Rose, Vayikras Milo, he ripped his coat, Vayigazis Rosho, and he tore out the hair of his head. So we see that there you have to stand up in order to do kriya, right? Rabbi Yehuda bar Patim Shem Yochanan we can't travel Chad Terli Koram Mumad. Yes, let's do it standing up. Now, yeah.
It's contradictory. We listen to one thing that Eve did and not the other. We don't tear our
Yeah, right.
Good point. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Good point. Okay.
He wasn't Jewish.
Right. It says Rabbi Yochanan should be Kadamach Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan died. Ho Rabbi Yossi Lishloamach. Rabbi Yossi says you're allowed to sew up the rip which you died because he was their Rebbe the next day. Kadamach Rabbi Yasa died. Ho Rabbi Chia Bar Paskin lean all to wear shoes bo bayom on that self same day when he died. Rabbi Zera said lo pli, it's not a machlokas. Or it is a machlokas, but there's no difference in, it's not the same way you think. And the Gemara explains that Bandam Ayishlo Lamachar Yigo Lamachar I'm sorry, it's not a machlokas the way you think, but it's a different machlokas. So he says here did I skip a line?
No.
Anyway, so Amar is here below pleading. Mandamar Yishlo Lemachar. He who says that the next day you can sew it up. Lemachar. The next day you can also wear shoes. Lemar Bovayom. He says that you have to wear shoes on that day. Yishlo Bovayom. You should also tear it on that. You should also mend it on that day as well. Okay. Now, Amrulo Meis Ruvain. If they said to the Baalbos, Ruvain died. The Koran, he did Kriya. But Chakach, Amrullah, they said, oh, we made a mistake. Shucks, Reuven's alive and well. Shimon died. Okay? So in that case, Harei Kfar Yotze de Kiro. He was already Yotze's Kriya because he did it at a time with her. It was Chayiv. Amrullah Meis Reuven. However, they told him Reuven died. The Koran did Kriya. Chakach, Amrullah Kayom Hayom Meis. And then if it turned out, at the time which you did, Kriya. So Reuven was then alive. And then he died afterwards. What's the story? Does Kriya while he was still alive work or not? East Tani, there are those who learn Yotze de Kiro, he was Yotze. East Tani, those who say, Lo Yotze de Kiro, was not Yotze. Mandamar Yotze de Kiro, according to him which holds that it was Yotze, Hakrakor, he did Kriya already. Mandamar Lo Yotze, you said he was not Yotze, Yudei, Lo Yotze de Kiro, Sharei al Chai Kara. He did it when he did the Kriya, the guy was still alive, and there's no such thing as Kriya on a live person. Okay? Well,
why isn't there machlokas from the first case where Shimon died and everyone agrees that he was Yotze with the Kriya for Reuven?
So what would you want to ask?
There should be a machlokas there too, whether it was Yotze.
Yotze what?
Reuven when he hears that Shimon died. He's alive. Should be the same type of machlokas, right? Is he the Yotze or is...
Again, what's the case?
The first case we had where he hears Reuven dies, does a Kriya, then he finds out Reuven's really alive and Shimon is the one that died.
Uh-huh.
So everyone agrees that he's Yotze from the first Kriya on Reuven, even though it really was Shimon that died.
Right.
So why isn't there a machlokas?
Because I don't think it requires the same type of kavana as any other mitzvah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's not even an element that's necessary. The second case is, by the time they did the Kriya, Reuven wasn't dead. There's no Kriya for any mace. The first instance is just a matter of
that there really was a dead person.
Yeah.
He just did the Kriya on their own person.
Right.
Here, there was no one dead to begin with.
So you have to do it on somebody who's already dead. Okay. East Tani is better than what I said. East Tani Yotze de Kiro, East Tani Lo Yotze de Kiro, Mandamar Yotze de Kiro, Krakora, but the Kiro, Mandamar Lo Yotze de Kiro, Shurei Chaykar, the guy was still alive. Romin Adoros Maria, the Tani we learned, Kara v'chozer bo neshama, he did Kriya, and then the guy had a Tchias HaMeisim. Imal Asar, it's on the spot. Oh, and then he died again. It was touch and go for a while. Imal Asar was on the spot. ain't it certainly cry, don't do it again. If it's after lachazman, certainly cry, then you have to cry again. Bamehu al asar, what's the kama asar, what's clear on the spot? K'dei dibur, the area, the case of tok k'dei dibur. What kama k'dei dibur, what's the type amount of time? Right, so Hashem Rishon Belevi said, k'dei show the amount of time, it's the same things to take shalom aleichem, ben ol chaver, between man and his fellow man. Abraham b'shem Rabbi Yochanan said, k'dei show ben Rav Tavi. Amount of time it takes Rabbi to ask us, Talmud Yomer Lo, V'yomer Lo Shalom Alecha Rabbi, and soon we'll say Shalom Alecha Rabbi, which is a little bit longer. Rabbi Yochanan, there's a famous Brisker joke. I've told it to you in the past, maybe you remember. The famous Brisker joke is that Arab who comes up to a Brisker and says, I'm going to kill you now. Alright, so the Brisker says, what can I do? Make the bracha, Baruch Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, Hashem Hashem b'tzov tzivona al kiddush Hashem. So then the Arab is frightened. What's the mumbo jumbo he's saying? He runs away. So the Brisker runs after him and says, no, hefsek. So here it's the same type of deer, right? The deer. Korah v'chutzer v'neshama. All these guys are standing around. They want to do kriya. They want to be yaitz in the mitzvah. And this guy has the audacity to keep coming back to life again. Such a chutz. Okay. So if it's toch k'dei dibur, then they're yotzei kriya. But it's not toch k'dei dibur, then they're not yotzei kriya. Yeah, so, yeah.
Moshe told me that.
He told you that joke? There's another famous joke, I forget about how it goes exactly, about the bear and the hunter. I forget that one.
Oh, I forgot that.
There's a similar...
It was cute.
I think I heard this from you. Didn't I hear it from you? Didn't know about the bear and the hunter? As a hunter go meets a bear in the forest. And the bear, he's very upset about the bear, but very nervous. What's the bear going to do to him? So he sees that the bear takes out a yarmulke and puts it on his head. He gets so happy. He says, oh, Baruch Hashem, it's a Jewish bear. So he goes closer and wants to hear what the bear is going to say. So the bear starts saying, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam shehakol niheh bidvaro. All right. So then, I'm sure it can be told much more elaborately, but that's the shortened version. So it says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan mistamech Rabbi Yaakov. This is an interesting story. We had a couple of times already in Yerushalmi. Rabbi Yochanan was leaning on Rabbi Yaakov already. Rabbi Lezer saw Rabbi Yochanan, and coming with Tamar Mikume, and he hid from in front of him. Amar Rabbi Yochanan said, two things this Babylonian is doing to me. Once he does, first way he doesn't say Shalom Aleichem. And I have it on good authority whenever he says things over which I say he doesn't quote my name. So Amar Lei, so he says, so Rabbi Yaakov he said back to Rabbi Yochanan, Keninu Nagin Gabon? That's the way their custom is in Bavel. Zero, the younger ones, Lo Shol B'Shlom the Rabbah, they don't inquire us, they'll say Shalom Aleichem to the older ones. Dina Mekayim, they fulfill the part that says, Ra'uni Narim V'Nechbo, the lads saw me and they hid, the Yeshishim, Kamu Avru, and the older ones got up and went. So it says, when they were walking, they saw one base medrash. Amalei Rabbi Yochanan said, Hachin have Rabbi Meir Yosef, here Rabbi Meir was sitting, V'darish you should darshan. Avarman Shabuasa mean, Shmeid Rabbi Shmuel, says over Su's name Rabbi Shmuel. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Yaakov Eve, they asked him, Amar Shmuel and Shmeid Rabbi Kiva, did he say things in the name Rabbi Kiva as well? Amar Lei says, Rabbi Yochanan said, no. Kol Amayadin to Rabbi Meir told me Rabbi Kiva. All the people know that Rabbi Meir is the son of Rabbi Kiva, so when he called Rabbi Kiva, he didn't have to call him by name. When he called somebody else, he had to call him by name. Amar Lei to Rabbi Yaakov, he said to Rabbi Yochanan, gotcha! V'chol Amayadin, everybody knows Rabbi Lezer Talmidei to Rabbi Yochanan. And the reason Rabbi Lezer doesn't say things in your name is because everybody knows that he's your student. So if it's not necessary, so it wasn't necessary for Rabbi Meir to say things in the name of Rabbi Akiva. They came in front of a certain Salem, a certain idol called Adure. Amalei. I'm sorry. No, that's not what it means. Sorry, Rabbi Lezer asked Rabbi Yaakov to ask Rabbi Yochanan, is it permissible to go in front of a certain Salem called Adure? So Amalei. So Rabbi Yochanan said, if you go around, then you're not giving it honor. You're giving it deference. If you go around the church, so you're giving it deference by walking around it, right? So overcome, I'd rather go in front of it and blind its eyes by spitting at it or doing something derogatory to it. So again, Rabbi Yaakov said, "Gotcha, Rabbi Yochanan. Yos, Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Elazar is doing a good thing. The law of he doesn't pass in front of you, because that demonstrates respect. You see, when you avoid going in front of somebody, that demonstrates respect for him or that object." Rabbi Yaakov Yochanan said to him, "Rabbi Yaakov, every day you have to fight. You should know to appease me." Rabbi Yochanan, boy, the Yom Shimon Rabbi Yochanan didn't want people to say things over in his name. David also asked for mercy that people should say things over his name. As it says, Omar, Agura Balecholomi wants to live in God's tent forever. Right? Pinchas Rabbi Yochanan said, David Shuchai Lo Elam. Did David think he's going to live forever? He wasn't a Rebbe. Elam, Kachamar. That's for your benefit, right? Elam, Kachamar. This is what he said. Definitely was a good line. I should merit that my word should be said, and it's as if I'm alive. Says Gemara, Umat, now the next 4 words are a mistake, according to Korban. It should be Mama Hanile. What good does it do for the dead person? Omar, so he said, Omer Shmuel B'Shem Omer, if you say so, your name, if it's the person reading his head, Sivzoisam Doivavos Bekever, his lips, Rochshos Bekever, his lips mumble in the grave. My time of Pas teaches us, Doivev Sivse Yishonim, he causes to speak the lips of those who are sleeping. Kikoimer, now Doivev is like to tremor. It's like a powerful grave, where the juice flows out on its own. So too, he's like, the juice is flowing out of the dead person on its own, even though he can no longer speak. Right?
I never understood this. So what's the significance of the word shiur?
Oh, symbolic. It's not literal.
Well, the point is, we're saying is
it's still alive.
So revive the dead.
Right. A symbolic revival.
It's as if he's still giving it.
Right, exactly. Right, that's right. Rabbi China Bar Papi and Rabbi Simon Chanamar coined the Kahan the Shati Khan. He told one said it's pleasurable if somebody drinks spiced wine. Chanamar the other said Kahan the Shati Chamaratik, like somebody drinks old wine. Avagadu Shosili, even after he drinks it, Tame Bepume, the taste still lingers in his mouth. On the other end, even though David wanted to remain forever in the base medrash, we're very machmir on this. There's no generation in which there are no scoffers, right? So what do they do? What do the brazen people of the generation do? They go by David's windows. They would say, when is the base medrash going to be built? When will be able to go up to the house of God? And he said, even though they have might to make me angry, I deserve it. Shani someach belibi. I'm happy. Not that I deserve, but I'm happy that it comes upon me. Why? I hear people. Why? Shani because samach ani samach libi. I'm happy samachti but only Beis Hashem Neilach. Even though their intentions are wrong, I'm happy they want to go to the house of God. But you keep me in Muliyamecho. David said, when your time will come, Lichsav is to go to your fathers. Amar Yishua Bar Nachman HaRakosh Baruch David. Hashem said to David, Yomim Leim Ani Moilcha. I'll give you whole days. And Ani Moilcha Yomim Chaser. I'm not giving you part days because every day was completely full of Avodah Hashem. Klum Shlomo bin Chaboina Beis HaMikdash. And why is Shlomo building the Beis HaMikdash? Lo Akibah Karbonos, so Karbonos is not in order to sacrifice the Karbonos. Chaviv Alai Mishpat Utztaka Shatois, more precious to me is the justice and charity that you do. Yotzim Karbonos better than Karbonos. Ma'atayma, what Pasuk teaches us, Oitzit Tztaka Mishpat, something who makes Tztaka and Mishpat, charity and judgment. You Nivchar La Hashem Mizevach, Hashem likes them more than Karbonos. Okay? Says the Mishnah further. You know what? I'm just going to get a soda before we go on. Just 1 second. Time out on the field. Halacha Ches. You do not leave a bed, meaning the coffin, in the middle of the street, Shlo on Chol Moed. Shlo Agus has Benor people should come to eulogize. So you don't let somebody lie in state. Lo Shanoshim Lo, not women at all. And they are covered because in Yano it's not sneers for women to have to lie out in public, even dead women. Nashim Memoy Manos, women on Chol Moed Manos, must explain that there's a certain type of lamentation, Avalom Matapos, but they can't beat their hands on their thighs or have to clapped. Those who are near the coffin, Matapos, they can do that sound making as well. Says the Gemara, Kol Mesim Kulam Udoicha Bamita, and all dead people, you push the coffin, meaning you do the burial quickly. But you do not deal so much in his dealings, meaning you don't give big espadim. You do a lot of discussion of their dealings because of keep it of aim, and doesn't mean they don't push the coffin to the grave. It was like a Friday afternoon,
That was a literal act of shoving the coffin into the grave.
What?
It's a literal act of shoving the coffin into the grave.
Oh, it's literal and figurative. Yeah, they put it on a ledge or a shelf usually, but it's literal and figurative. Yeah, but I don't know if that's what that's referring to here. That's in order to have like chibur kever, to have some sort of kapara. But I don't think that's what it's referring to here. But maybe you're right. Maybe it's literal. If it's a time when you're pressed for time, honest Kusham, it's the rainy season. I feel I'll love you, even my father and mother should be memait. If you diminish your dealings, you're speaking about them. You push with the coffin. Should call marba normally, except for Shasat anybody who's marba basic, love you, anybody who drives his father and mother, particular much, or raise a meshubach, it's praiseworthy. I'll call Masim Eno Mavdil Konasav Shlo, this getting back to the hem. And all the further Mason, you do not separate the hem, El Aviva Imo, says your father and mother, Divra Meir. Anytime you don't rip the hem, I raise the Keresh Tiflus, it's a frivolous tear, it's not a bona fide tear. Rabbi Yochanan putting Rabbi Yehuda B'Tartar. Yochanan argues with Rabbi Yehuda in two things. A, that you don't have to do the hem on anybody other than your father and mother. And there's another thing here about your Rebbe. That's going to be the next case. Rabbi Yochanan showed that Rabbi China's Toshish. Rabbi Yochanan heard that Rabbi China became weak. So he went up to visit him. Go Easter when he was still in the street. Shama Damach, he heard that he died. Nachas me in the Chameis, he went down from his donkey. Va'achik Mona, Tav Yeshuvs, he brought his good Shabbos clothes. Ubazin, and he ripped them. Like it's learned over there. The Kohen Gadol porei milamaton. The Kohen Gadol, when he rips his clothes, he rips from the bottom. The head or the calm person milamala. So Reb Lezer B'Shem Kana said, "What's the mala? Lamala mikana sufan above the hem. Lamata mikana sufan, and below is below the hem. So below the hem is actually where a regular person rips, and not a Kohen Gadol. Rabbi Yochanan Lamata Mamish. Rabbi Yochanan says below means literally below. A Kohen Gadol does it not beneath the hem, but rather at the bottom of his garment. And Rabbi Lezer, in the name of Kana, went like Rabbi Yehuda. So, and Rabbi Yehuda is the one who said that that you have to rip through the seam or through the hem. So it says more.
We haven't made a point.
What?
We've not made a point about what we're going to do.
Right. So it says the more. Now it's coming up. In Rabbi Yehuda, lo yifrom kolikar. If it's going like Rabbi Yehuda, Then the Gemara said, then you shouldn't have to do kriya at all. 1 second. Yeah. Rabbi Lezer said, look back at the second line again. Rabbi Lezer named Makano that Lamalos Lamalim Yikonasav is above the hem, which means including the hem. Lamatos Lamalim Yikonasav means below and not including the hem. So it says Gemara. Rabbi Lezer is like Rabbi Yehuda, right? It says here Rabbi Lezer B'Shem Kana goes like Rabbi Yehuda, but that's not true. Rabbi Yehuda said on the bottom of the Chesed base that any kera, any rip where you don't rip the hem is not considered to be a rip.
Right.
So how can you say that he holds like Rabbi Yehuda? Okay? It says Rabbi Yehuda lo even kol ikar. Shouldn't rip it all because it's meaningless unless you rip the hem. So Maikadun, so what's taka the pshat? So it says what's the conclusion here? Chomer kohen gadol she'enu mavdu konasofa. Even Rabbi Yehuda agrees that a kohen gadol doesn't rip his hem. It doesn't pass for a kohen gadol. So actually the machlokas Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yehuda was in two things. A, Rabbi Yochanan held that what are the two things? 1 second.
It must be that the point on the word is good clothes. It must be that you didn't, like you said before, these are clothes they wear all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It must be that he did not tear through the seam because they were such good clothes. He didn't want to do that.
Right, that's the one thing you argued. It didn't tear through a seam. It was Shabbos clothes, it didn't tear through a seam. But the other thing you argued, the Pnei Moshe says, it's not in the Gemara itself, or not explicit Gemara, but he, besides not tearing through the seam, which Rabbi Yehuda says only Kohen Gadol doesn't have to tear through the seam, but everybody else does. He ripped for Rabbi Chanina, even though Rabbi Chanina is not the Rabbi from which he got the majority of his Chachma. And Rabbi Yehuda later on, I think it is, although I'm not sure if it actually does appear later on, says you only have to do a kriya for your Rabbi from which you learned most of your Chachma. So that was the other thing that he tore for Rabbi Chanina. Okay, so that was the double machlokas. So it says, it says I'll call Mason. At all Mason who show lach shiva, he can mend the rip. This is what Dr. Fidel brought before. After shiva, ma'acha means weave it back together again. You know, like invisible weaving. That he can do achar shloshim after 30 days. Avivimo in a ma'acha lomas, he never mends it. He never weaves it. Time Sherem knows it says Isha Shalel's miyad. A woman who it's not sneistic for her to remain with kriya, she can immediately mend it. Uma'ached, she can weave it lachar shloshim after 30 days. Al ima ena ma'achal alom, but on aviva ima and her father and mother never. Ezu ichui, what's considered to be ichui karig, as if it's rewoven. Hasulam va'kapash, a sulam is like a ladder, and a kapash is like folded. And there you can obviously tell where the rip once was. It's not woven. So in that case, hey, Mark, it's not a problem. What I mean by not a problem is that even for your father and mother, you can do that. Okay, you can make like a ladder seam or like a.
So it's still obvious that it was torn.
Right, that's what I mean to say.
Like a baseball stitch or something.
Right, like a baseball stitch, or be a coppish, right? Or coppish, right? So it says, well, and all that people die, you only tear your outer garment. I love you, on your father and mother. I feel even you're wearing 10 garments, you rip until the lowest one. And not because the t-shirt you don't have to rip. Because it's like an undershirt. Okay? Isha in a karas, a woman only tears the upper layer. She tears also the inner layer. But she turns it then back to her back, because there's karas the shine, then she rips the rest of her clothing, so she's never fully exposed. So she tears the bottom tear towards the back. You do? Sure you do. Yeah, you tear the jacket and the shirt. That's all the layers there. The undershirt doesn't count. Okay. I guess the tzitz not as well.
You know where the word apikoros comes from?
What?
From undershirt? I don't know. Looks like it, but I don't know what the derivation would be. So, anyway, I'll call Mason also begil touch lotion. And all dead people are not allowed to do ironing for 30 days. So, I'll much name as a chodesh on your father and mother until 12 months. Okay, so that's, yeah, it comes from Epicurean, but I don't know this comes from here.
Of course, in those days only wore t-shirts.
I don't know. They were gang leaders. They have fucking Davids on their t-shirts. Okay, so anyway. Not Jewish. They're right! They should have let her wear the fucking David. Okay.
See, Dr. Lawrence.
She wasn't Mechavin. She didn't realize it. Okay.
She's not able to have the same situation.
That's right. Okay, so Ezu Giyutz, what's considered to be lawn garments which one cannot wear during the 12 months? New woolen crease garments. And linen, even if it's not new, but it's white and it's freshly ironed, those you can't wear during the Yud Beis Chodesh. I'll call Mason also for all people who die are not allowed to shave or get a haircut at Shloshim till 30 days. Alavi val imo for his father and mother at Shishlach until he grows his hair long. Excuse me, here it says oad, but there's another gives a vi'ad. So either that or both, sheigro b'chaver until his friends rebuke him for growing such long hair, which I think they say is every 2 months or so during the Yud Beis Chodesh. Or sure, the Damchas Imei's mother died kumim moadaya before the Yontif Timnaya, 8 days. So actually Shloshim was up already Erev Yontif. As a shor mother, so he came as her mother. Armalei, so he said, Kol davar sheshu toli b'shiva v'shloshim ha'regel mafsik. Anything has to do with shiva shloshim, the Yontif interrupts. Ram Hacham, but here, at shish la'pira at shigo b'chaverev, the shloshim vis-a-vis haircuts continues on past the regel. Why is that? Because that has nothing to do with that shear is not a shear of time, but a shear of rebuke. When your friends rebuke you, so that can transcend the yontif, right? I'll call Mesim in Magas Libo on all Mesim you don't uncover your heart, Ella Avim except for your mother and father. That's why I think they probably do a different side of the shirt. Divrei Meir. Shmuel B'Shem Rav Tumei said, Bartalmud said, Mibnei should be taught in mitzvahs cover. The interesting why you rip open is opposite your heart because you lost the mitzvah kibbut avim. I'll call Mesim also b'schor for any other mason not allowed to go to take a business trip abroad. At Shoshim for 30 days. Until his friends rebuke him, and they're alone, they say to him, until they shouldn't do your business. I'll call Mason was no Mason, you're not allowed to go to a meal, a festive meal. At Shloshim for 30 days. I'll have the email for your father and mother, at Shem Zechoshin for 12 months. Ema is a Chabura mitzvah, Kiddush HaChodesh, however, it's a Chabura going to do a mitzvah like a bris or Shalom Zachar perhaps even, or for Kiddush HaChodesh, then it's mutter for them to go. Again, here you can't change clothes during Shiva. But you have to rip all of them as we learned previously. Rabbi Chia Rabban, Rabbi Chama, Avoid Rabbi Yeshua, Tavei, and Rabbi both said, Kun Asurin B'Ichui. Any garment which we discussed, you're not allowed to mend if it becomes I think it's about the other garments you wear during Shiva. Rabbi Rabbi Chama Avoid Rabbi Yoshi said Tarvei Nomin both said all the garments you wear during Shiva and your father and mother you're never allowed to weave over again. Only the one you wear the first day. Amrav Chunra said Plukta Achrabe name. There's also another machlokas between them, another interesting machlokas. Man Markluna he says all the garments during Shiva are forbidden ever to properly weave again. Also Shar Begadim, also Shar Yochel Misha says all the rest of the Yontif is like the first day. I feel yesh a law of kama begonim, even though you have several garments upon yourself, chayv likros kol, you have to rip all of them. Man the Mariu says, ein l'cha aser b'yichoy el yom rishon vad, only stuff you want on the first day is aser, also shayu in tosefes. The rest of the days are considered to be additional. Afilu yeshul of kama begonim ein akrel el yom bilvad. Even if you have several garments on you, you only tear one, that's all. So in essence what he's saying is like this. Again, the extrapolation. He holds that all 8 days you have, or all 7 days, depending on the Yom Tov, you have or any garment put into those 7 days or 8 days is also, well, 7 days, 6 days called Moed actually. 6 is the maximum. Any garment you put on during those days are called Moed, right? No, it's not called Moed. Shiva, sorry.
Shiva.
Sorry, my mistake. Any garment you put on during Shiva, you have to preserve. Torn. You can't mend it with ichui, right?
Only for parents. Or for anyone.
Anyone.
For the 7 days.
The ones who are during Shiva. Well, yeah, you can never do ichui.
During the Shiva period.
Oh, right. This is only for parents. Gotta be for the parents, right? Right. So he says, so he says everything is written to ichui. Therefore he makes all days like the first day. And so he makes all days first day, so therefore he makes all other garments like the first garment. And that's why if you're wearing many garments, you have to tear all the garments you're wearing. Right? In layers. Yeah. However, if you go the other way, then you only have to tear the top garment, right? So then not everybody's the same parameter, right? So he says, so too, if you have several garments, you only have to tear the top one, not the bottom one. Making myself clear?
That's not for parents.
Yeah, even for parents.
You only tear the top one with the bottom?
That's in context.
It's to be cooler, right?
Okay, so it's not.
Right, to be cooler, right? Okay. Says the word further. Rosh Chodashim Chanukah Purim, Rosh Chodesh Chanukah Purim. Manos of topless, the women can do inui and tipuach b'zeh avalom close, but they cannot lament. Nikbar mace, once the mace is buried, and chomoi lo manos, the lom topless, they can't do any of these things. Ezu inui shekulan onos ka'achas. Ezu inu, what's considered to be inui, which is women who are manos. When shekulan onos ka'achas, everybody says stuff simultaneously. V'kino sh'achas neres, or one person speaks, shekulan onos ka'achas, and everybody responds to that person. Shneimar, as it says, Labena b'nosechem ni, teach your daughters nay, v'yisharu, which is type of mourning, v'yisharu sa kino, and a woman, her friend, lamentation. What does it say? Eventually, to finish himself on a high note. Bila Amovas Netzach, Hashem will destroy death forever. Umach Hashem Lakim Dima Me'al Kol Panim Begomer. Hashem will wipe away the tears from any living creature. So it says in Rabbi Tanchum Bar Eloi Damach, he died B'Chanukah and Chanukah. Rabbi Daisa Damach B'Shiarcha de Nisan, he died on Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Avdin Le Ivraya. So they made for them a very interesting thing called Ivraya. What does it mean they made for them Ivraya? I forgot. 1 second. Yeah. Now I'm just Havzavra. So things that major Gersa changes here. The Shaitar Sisrael changes the exact opposite. Lo Avdilei Ivraya. They didn't make for him Suda Savra. So I'm just going to the way it says in the Gemara. Suda Savra is the first meal after, an Avil comes to the cemetery. He's not supposed to eat his own meal. Somebody else is supposed to bring it to eat, right? So they used to make this Avraya even in Nisan. Some may mean Daitun Rabbana. They thought they were doing it because the rabbis permitted this. Says, no. Ubarko Ashko, they went and checked. The lo mean Daitun Rabbana. The rabbis never permitted this, right? So it says the Gemara, similarly, Rabbi Kruspi do Amachamori, Dan Chamoy, Vamle Avraya, they made for him a Suda Savra. So remember, they thought mean Daitun Rabbi Ami agreed. But when they checked it out and found the low mean died to Rabbi Ami never heard of this. Rabbi Chelbo and Rabbi Zab, Rabbi Chelbo and Rabbi Zab, Bob or Zab to B'Shem Ram named Rab said, Afilu even even afilu l'shah. Even this going back and where it says you don't let women lie in state, even temporarily. I mean, I don't know how we know that because it says Vatoma Miriam died there, but he covered Sham and she was buried there immediately. Says more. Wait a minute. We find the rabbis on Chol Moed, they speak plenty at a Levaya. You say they shouldn't speak, so there shouldn't be a spray, but they speak in plenty. Ani means they respond at great length. No, Chaverim are meticulous. They know how to draw the line, right? Of course, guys, they know how to draw the line between what's considered to be permissible and not permissible on Yom Tov. Okay? We'll stop here for tonight and leave this here for Monday night.
All right.